Order your man to step aside or there will be violence.
I choose violence.
The agony is almost over as the season 6 premiere of Game of Thrones is around the corner, and HBO has released a red band trailer so replete with hidden secrets, flashbacks, and spoilers that we can feel our lives finally returning. After losing all motivation to wake up in the morning for the last year, and also after that teaser released a few weeks ago, which was very underwhelming, this new teaser proves that season 6 of Game of Thrones is about to blow season 5 out of the water. If you watch this trailer more than once, you will see it reveals a lot. So if you don't want to even entertain the possibility of a few spoilers, then be warned, because we've got one hell of a breakdown coming your way. Then again, without the books to guide us, this trailer is all we have, so let's just jump right in. Obviously, the question we're all asking ourselves, is Jon Snow dead for good? Well, right out of the gate, the trailer tackles this very query. You see Jon's bloody corpse right where he was murdered, as we hear Davos saying he's gone. But later on in this 1 minute and 41-second trailer, you see Melisandre having a crisis of faith. She admits with painful resignation, "The great victory I saw in the flames, all of it was a lie." Later, we see that Jon's body has been saved from the hands of those murderous night watchmen, most definitely by Davos. We see a shot of Melisandre removing her clothing. We also see her touch Jon's body, presumably to revive him. Then again, there's a shot of Davos standing somberly by a pyre that we assume is to burn the body of Jon Snow in order to stop him from becoming a White Walker. But spoiler alert, at exactly 1 minute and 17 seconds in the trailer, you see a battlefield with men on horses, and if you pause it toward the center of the screen for less than a millisecond, you see a man who looks a whole lot like Kit Harrington riding a white horse. So full circle to the end of the trailer, Davos, with Jon's pale corpse in the foreground, unleashes his sword and says,
"I've never been much of a fighter. Apologies for what you're about to see."
Is he about to stab Jon Snow? Or is he actually about to fight the other men in the Night's Watch who are looking for Jon's corpse? Hopefully, he's going to protect Jon long enough to have Melisandre revive him. We'll find out in a month and a half if that's true. Meanwhile, you know that Jaime and Cersei's illegitimate daughter, Myrcella, died at the end of season 5 in the grand finale. Well, in this trailer, we see a ship bearing the sigil of House Martell sailing towards King's Landing, most likely with Jaime and Myrcella's body returning home from Dorne. We later see Cersei and Jaime in utter desperation. Jaime tells his sister, quote, "We're the only ones who matter. Everything they've taken from us, we're going to take back and more." And the battle begins between the Lannisters and that weird religious sect, the Sparrows. In fact, as Lancel Lannister tells Cersei to step aside or there will be violence from the Sparrows, she says, "I choose violence." And the resurrected Franken form of Gregor Clegane approaches the Sparrows ready to fight. Now, Cersei might have been freed by the High Sparrow, but what about poor Marjorie? Yeah, she is just trying to survive in the Faith Militant's captivity. And after this quick flash of the High Sparrow offering Marjorie a helping hand, literally, this might actually foreshadow that our girl might join their sect. Whatever she needs to do to get released, right? Another character we've missed is Bran, who is seen standing, as in on his legs, people, and now he's a little older. But in this scene, poor Bran seems to encounter the sinister Night King of the White Walkers, so hopefully this is actually just a vision and not what it looks like. Speaking of confusing images that we don't know what it looks like, I can't make out who the girl is on top during this lesbian makeout session, but on the bottom, doesn't that look a whole lot like Yara Greyjoy? Which brings us to the Greyjoys. There is a lot happening with this family. As you know, in the climactic finale of last season, Theon Greyjoy, aka Reek, and Sansa run for their lives from the Bolton captivity. So now we see Sansa running through the forest, presumably from the Bolton soldiers who've now surrounded Theon, which does not bode well for him. But as you know, Brienne was tasked with looking after Sansa. So try not to blink, because we actually see Brienne killing the same soldiers that had surrounded Theon, thus saving his life. You gotta love that woman. Sansa definitely lives, since we see her later wearing northern furs. Is she with Littlefinger? Our only shot of him shows him walking around what looks like the forest around Winterfell. And while it looks like Theon is later forced to undergo an Iron Island baptism, this might not be Theon, but rather his long-lost uncle Euron Greyjoy, who we haven't seen until now. Several battle scenes show the Boltons fighting the wildlings. My heart totally goes out to Tormund. Then again, shots of both Ramsay and Roose look particularly unhappy. Good. Now, what about poor Arya? Well, she takes a pretty rough smack in the face in this trailer. In another scene, we see her eyes exaggeratedly white, reminding us that she has gone blind, possibly even warged. Though in the book, Arya is blinded temporarily for training purposes so that she can learn to fight using her other senses aside from her eyesight. But hopefully her eyesight has returned by the time we see her flying out of a window in Braavos, supposedly being hunted down by the Waif. Khaleesi is seen beautifully unkempt as she walks alongside thousands of Dothraki. She looks up and sees a giant statue of a horse, indicating that they are in major Dothraki territory. At least we know that Jorah and Daario find the ring that Daenerys dropped when she was picked up by the Khalasar at the end of last season, so they are off finding her while Tyrion stays behind. But perhaps the most revealing detail in this whole trailer is this shot of 6 men drawing their swords on a sandy plain. The guy in the left might actually be Ned Stark, you guys. Nope, not resurrected, we wish, but in a flashback sequence of Robert's rebellion at the Tower of Joy. Long story short, the tower is where Ned engages in a bloody duel and finds his captive sister Lyanna dead. Many fans believe that he finds with her the son that she died giving birth to, aka who we think is Jon Snow, the bastard child of Rhaegar Targaryen. Which means that we might actually resolve Jon's true lineage in this season. Might. Now, what did you guys think of our breakdown? I mean, so much juicy material squeezed into one trailer. And the song Wicked Game is just perfect in the background. But please tell me, what did I miss? Let me know in the comments section. Also, if you've never seen Game of Thrones, you have not fully lived your life, so please watch the show. I'm Miriam Issa. Tweet me your fan theories at Miriam Issa, and then click over here to watch us get all debatable as we discuss which Netflix reboot is king, Fuller House or Gilmore Girls. See you guys soon. And then click to the left to see the girls on beauty break kind of bake their faces. You'll have to click to find out, or click to the right for the weirdest pizzas ever invented on another episode of Cheat Day.